I'm Ryan. This is my co-host
Joseph,
and welcome to another episode of Booth Matters. That's BOOTH Matters, where we discuss all things related to photo booths and events. It's funny that we're here today.
Yeah.
As you can see, we're in the main banqueting suite.
Yeah.
And today's podcast is all things related to wedding photo booth hire.
Yes.
So it just makes sense that we record this particular episode here. Lovely settings. So let's dive straight in. So
let's go.
When your customer inquires
Yes.
and says, "Oh, I'm getting married next year.
Yes.
This is my venue, blah, 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 blah." What are you ultimately looking to push them to use first? What's your recommendations? What's the go-to? What are you actually saying when it comes to wedding photo booth hire?
Do you know what? First of all, it depends, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And it depends on what the customer has put down on the booking form, right?
Okay.
So, for example, the venue might not have any lifts. It might have stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So automatically, I need another pair of hands because I can't carry a mirror photo booth up the stairs. I would automatically...
So if it's got stairs and they want a mirror photo booth, you're still going to accommodate it?
I'll still accommodate it. They just have to pay more for it if it's available.
Me personally, I'm like, you can't have a magic mirror. It's backbreaking.
Yeah, but what if your Halo booth, your eye booth, is booked out already? That's the only booth you got to go on now. Unless you call me.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. It hasn't happened yet, but stairs and magic mirror,
they don't go.
No.
They do not go. And I don't think the customer understands. So really and truly, the customer is paying for one photo booth attendant and a booth.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, simple.
Depending on if there's stairs. So if there are stairs, then that customer most likely will have to pay more if they want the mirror. I mean, the mirror photo booth is more for me anyway.
Yeah,
you know, I do charge more because it's bigger. I need a van for the mirror photo booth. You know, so yeah.
Okay, so you're obviously going through your Q&A, seeing if there's stairs and so forth.
Yeah.
So if there's a lift, you're then saying magic mirror for weddings.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you know, like the mirror photo booth was my first booth, right? As you know, so I always kept on pushing that.
Yes.
Right, that's all I had to go on. I had one booth. I have more than one booth now, so I have options. The customer has options.
Okay.
But then it also depends on what the customer wants. If the customer just wants stills and prints, then really and truly it's the mirror photo booth. If they want the aesthetics of the mirror photo booth and they're adamant they want that one, then it's the mirror photo booth, right?
Okay.
Now, if they...
What's different about the magic mirror photo booth when it comes to stills?
All right. So with the mirror photo booth, the mirror photo booth operates on Windows, whereas the Halo booth and any other booth that I have operates on iOS. So what iPhone uses, right? Which is a lot more clearer, a lot more concise.
So you're not talking about the cameras?
Yeah. Or should I say the quality of the camera to a certain extent, because...
So what's in the mirror?
So the mirror is a DSLR.
Okay.
However, that's still operated on Windows. It's still clear, it's still concise, but with Windows, you can only do so much with Windows, whereas iOS is more versatile. You know, I use iOS for the 360. I use iOS for the Halo booth. So yeah, aesthetically, the mirror is always the go-to
for weddings.
For wedding, yeah.
Okay.
But then last year.
And why do you say aesthetically? What is it? Because the actual mirror is ugly.
The actual mirror, or do you mean the whole thing?
The casing?
The casing,
outside of the mirror is ugly.
The casing is not nice.
Have you seen what I've done to my mirror?
Nope.
Oh, I put covers.
Yeah.
So it's all gold. So
okay.
It's covered.
Okay.
So it's
covered in gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I looked at it, I was like, would I want to have this big black
box,
speaker box with it's got a gold frame and see things going on in the screen, but generally the outside is a big black box.
Yeah.
It's like it's not good looking. And I've always had this idea in my head, which is if I'm bringing in something into your event aesthetically it either has to match or got to be nicer.
Yeah.
It's got to be a feature to it.
Yeah.
And that's why I like making my own booths.
Yeah.
And then I'll change the aesthetics of them
based on the customer.
Based on the customer. Or just based on what I feel is going to be appropriate for a vast amount of bookings. Yeah. So it might be a wedding, party, corporate event. It doesn't matter. As long as aesthetically the outside housing is pleasing, I want to make sure that my booth is able to go.
You've gone a step further.
Yeah.
You've got a step further.
But I don't like the look generally of magic mirrors. Outside anyway. But you're referring to the actual screen and the animation. So
that's correct.
Go into that. So, because you go hard when it comes to that magic mirror.
I do. So I picked specifically that type of kind of goldish, kind of silvery. It's kind of goldish, silverish, kind of whitish, depending on how the light hits it. Depending on what are you referring to? The actual frame of the mirror photo booth.
You got different frames?
No, it's one frame.
Okay.
But depending on how the light hits it, will depend on whether. So if the light hits it a certain way, it can look kind of goldish or silverish. Or silverish, kind of whitish. Okay. So it depends on how the light hits it. If it's really a bright light, if it's natural light, it all depends. But either way, no matter how the light hits it, it still looks nice. When a customer is looking at it, it looks amazing.
With you. Okay. So that's that side in terms of the frame.
Yeah.
What about in regards to the animation? Because obviously you're a magic mirror specialist, let's be honest.
More or less, yeah.
So you go hard when it comes to the animations, because a lot of people don't realize the whole point, and I only realized it from actually getting the magic mirror, that the animations is the real feature to it. Yeah. Because the screen is what? 50 inch?
Yeah, about 50, 55 inch.
It's bigger than that. It's like 55 inch screen.
Yeah.
And then you've got all these animations going, and then on top of the animations, there's the audio that accompanies it. Yeah. So it's like an attraction. Yeah. But I didn't really understand that. I was always looked at it as like, well, there's no difference between that and a standard photo booth. But then when I had it, now that I've got it and I play around with it, I realized, oh, it's got all these animations. So like the one on my one, it's got like Easy Tiger. Okay. And the machine says Easy Tiger. And then you've got a tiger coming through the screen. Yeah. Yeah. We'll try and put up a replay so people can see. But that's really cool. Yeah. Or it might say, hey, sexy, or you're looking fabulous, but the machine's talking. Yeah. So it's almost like, you know, when you go to a fun fair and the ride will start to speak. Yeah. That's like what the magic mirror experience is like. Yeah. Which I now realize as the real value.
Yeah, 4 years late.
Yeah, I know.
Well, 5 years late. Well, that's all right. It's okay.
I know, but no one was really explaining it. It wasn't given any type of detail to say, like, this is an attraction. This attracts people because not only is it aesthetically pleasing in terms of the animations that are being presented to you, but the audio that accompanies it attracts people because it's like, oh wow, it's just spoken to me. Oh wow, like it's got this cool animation going off in the screen. It's fireworks going off in the screen. It's doing a lot more, and because of the size of the screen, like we all know, like big is better. Yeah. As like in America, you know, when you go to America, and you get like a standard Coke, and it's extra large. Like it's just that vibe, isn't it? So I understand that being obviously attractive, but why in weddings?
Do you know what? You know, you can customize it and do your own animations if you like. Right? Yeah. You can also.
Who do you do? You go to Fiverr? Where do you go to? Because you're not doing this yourself, obviously.
No. So one thing, I guess the only thing that I have done in terms of customizing it is the sound. Right. Okay. So what I done is I got the customers I said, so if you could put a voice on it, what voice would you want to put on it at each stage, right? So they changed the voices at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end.
Sick.
Yeah. So it customized it for them. Okay. Now, obviously, I don't say that to all customers because otherwise, now there's a lot more that goes into the proofing. So now I'm spending more time, which means the price is going to be different. Does that make sense? So if you're going to customize it, I can't now ascertain how long it's going to take now for you to now approve it, because you might change your voice again It might just be that there's outdoor sounds or it's not clear enough or what's or not. So that's a lot of back and forth. So sometimes that costing is just way out of budget for
what cost do you
clients.
associate with that? And how much
£200?
That's £200.
That's £200 straight for customization.
Tell me, what is that doing?
Okay, what for
the
on the day?
On the day, what's the experience?
It's unique. So the couple get to do their voiceover. So it could be like, welcome. I've
walked up to the venue.
Yeah,
I've seen the magic mirrors there. It's all singing and all dancing. I'm greeted by you.
Yeah.
What happens?
So what happens is, touch the screen. Welcome to James and Laura's wedding. That's what it says.
But this is James or Laura's voice.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So it's their voice.
Oh,
right.
Hey.
So it's their voice at that moment in time, right? Okay. And then when it does take the picture, because it normally take 3 pictures or it can take 1 picture, right? So let's.
This ain't voiceover. This is the actual voice recording being put.
Voice recording, yeah. It's a voice recording. So they do the voice recording, send it over. You load it up on what's or not. And then when it's taking a picture, thank you for taking a picture at James and Laura's wedding. Please take your print in a few seconds.
In James and Laura's voice?
James and Laura's voice, yeah.
Wow. So you charge an extra £200 for this service?
That's right, yeah.
Makes sense.
Because
what's the process? What do you have to do?
Because at that point in time, so I get the recording from them, so I check the recording. If it's either too long or too short, they need to do it again. Does that make sense?
You only get a certain amount of time to do it?
It's only a certain amount of time, because if the file is too big, then it takes too long for the system to now go to the next image or go to the next animation.
The machine.
Yeah, so you can only do a certain period of time. So the recording
do you think that's
has to
based
go
on the machine that you're using, or do you think that's based on the software capabilities?
I probably think it's a bit of both, to be fair.
Okay.
I think if it was, for example, if it was iOS, it would be a lot slicker, you know. But whereas Windows, it can be temperamental at times, and you don't want it to disrupt the actual experience on the day, because if there's too much going on, then the machine might shut down, and then you have to restart it again.
Question, sorry to cut you. What machine are you using? Is this photobooths.co.uk's machine?
Yes.
And their software?
Yes.
And the original PC, or you've changed the PC?
The original PC, yeah. Okay,
right, cool. So there's definitely a big possibility of, if you was to change that actual machine,
it could be, yeah,
and get something more powerful,
yeah,
it would accommodate and work more seamlessly.
Yeah, it could possibly do that, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Because obviously mine is the same, and I have not updated the software, and I'm not going to update the software. But I do recognise that machine, the actual PC that they give you, isn't sufficient. And I think even they know that. I think even when they've upgraded, people have changed it.
I think so. And I think one thing is that, like, once you have the software, you have the software. So I guess the difference between using that and using, let's say our iBooth or the Halo booth is that you have to pay for the software every time you use it or every month. So that saves us, but the experience for the customer is different depending upon what they want. So it's like, do you want something aesthetically pleasing, just that, or do you want something that's aesthetically pleasing and the software is on point at the same time?
Okay, with you. So do you know what? Yeah, this is gonna come kind of left, because I know we're talking about wedding photo booths, but because you are a magic mirror specialist, I've got a mirror too, but I'm not a specialist. I know Joe's a Dan, because I know you do everything with it. What's your thoughts on the magic mirrors from China? Because I've been eyeing them up.
But which ones? Because there's ones, they've got ones that we've got, or are you talking about the more slim ones?
The slimline ones.
Okay, so the slim ones
that actually looks like a mirror.
Okay, so those ones. The thing is, you know what? A lot of the materials that we have is actually from China. Just that it's put together here. And I think the comfort is that if anything goes wrong, you go back to anyone from here. But if it goes wrong and it's from China, we're kind of stuffed. And you don't want that to happen, because you're running a business. So what that means is that all of your 20 bookings down the line, what's going to happen? That could be like $5,000, $10,000 worth. You have no idea. But in direct answer to your question, they look nice, but looking nice isn't always, how can I put it? It's not always, you can't, what's the word I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of a word, but I can't think of it right at the moment in time.
Ultimately, what you're basically saying is, yeah, it looks nice on the outside, but we actually don't know what's going on the inside.
Yeah.
And that unknowingness is a risk that's just not worth taking.
Yeah.
But then, let me put another spanner in the works. Your 360 booth, is that not from China?
Yes. However,
mine is from China.
However, the software is not. It's literally just the mechanism.
Okay.
It's literally just the mechanism.
But then what's the difference in regards to the Magic Mirror? Because the Magic Mirror, I'm not going to use the Chinese software. I'm going to use my own software.
Very true. Yeah. Very true. However, what I would say is that with that, all right, so if anything went wrong with internally on that mirror, on the Chinese mirror, the new one, the slim one, who could you bring it to?
No one. But you would have to find somebody who's good with electrics.
Yeah, you would have to find someone.
Yeah.
Whereas if something happened, God forbid, nothing happened with our 360. If anything happened with the 360, the mechanism is pretty straightforward, to be honest.
Yes.
It's not like rocket science. I can't do it, but I know someone.
Yeah, people can.
People
fix it.
can.
Yeah.
But the mirror is very unique.
Only real thing that's unique about their mirrors is the fact of it's got a built-in screen and a built-in IR, which is obviously a problem because with our mirrors, the IR is external and it can be just removed if there is any damage to it.
For everyone, IR. What is IR?
Infrared.
Okay.
So that's what allows you to touch the screen. So it will turn any surface
into a touchable
screen or a touchable surface, and then it will react accordingly. But the reason why I'm asking you is because we have got these 360s from China, and a lot of people have that's not rock. Like everyone knows that half of these, not even half, 90% of people, because when you realize the real cost of the ones that are not, you then say to yourself, well, is it really worth it? I don't want to spend $5,000 on a 360 machine.
And that's how much it used to be because it was coming from the States.
But then let's be honest, that's mostly still a Chinese booth.
You know what? No, I remember it was only coming from the US. They were making it in the US. Literally, they were making it in the US. Yeah. They were making it in the US.
Okay.
But then there were a few British companies that had it, and they were making it here. It weren't from China. They were actually making it here.
Okay.
Because with those companies, those are the companies that do experiential marketing, right? So they can't afford for it to go wrong and not to know about it, right? They need to be able to put it together and fix it if anything goes wrong because their customers are spending anywhere from $6,000 to maybe $15,000, depending on how long the event actually is for. You know, that's the bracket we obviously want to be in, but
of course,
you know,
definitely.
Such is life.
Okay. So then, if there was a situation where you could get that slimline magic mirror, yes, it's the Chinese version, but there's somebody accountable in Europe for it, would you then buy it?
Possibly. And the reason why I would say possibly is that is even now more delicate than the mirrors we have now. Even more delicate. I don't know how thick that glass actually is, right? But I know how thick the ones we have.
Yeah. If anybody has one of the Chinese magic mirrors, put in the comments. We want to know. I haven't seen one up in person.
I've just seen a video of it.
I've just seen a video of it. They look really nice. It is risque, but we've got the 360s that are from China. 99% of things that we use in the world nowadays is from China, so it doesn't really make much sense us not going for it. But let us know, and we have got suppliers who we are working with, so I'm sure in a few episodes' time we'll be able to offer you guys something that will allow you to have some reassurance. So in regards to just going back now to your original conversation with the weddings, so the magic mirror will be set up and you look to offer them the voiceovers to match with their own voice.
If they wanted it. So within the email that I send, that's what it has. So if the customer picks it out and they say, yeah, what's that? Or I'd like to know a little bit more about that, then I'll talk about that. because it has so many different features.
Mm-hmm.
If you go through every single feature with that customer, like, you'll just confuse them.
Okay.
Right? And a lot of the time when I have a conversation with them, I ask, okay, what's the theme? What do you want out of it? What's your objective? Yeah, I just want everyone to have a good time. If they say, yeah, can you do voiceover? If they're thinking about it, then I'll tell them about it. But it's all in the email anyway. It says voiceovers. Okay. So if they haven't picked it out, obviously, maybe they don't want it. Maybe they haven't really seen it properly. But if they really wanted it, they would have just asked a question about it, you know.
But then, okay. So when you're constructing this email, for argument's sake, right? How are they going to see the true value in the voiceover?
That's a very good question.
How is it displayed? Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, if we speak to Joe's going to explain, yo, this is going to come, it'll be able to do this, You're going to be a salesman at that point, and you're going to...
I could be a salesman or an educator.
Or educator, whatever you may say. But either way, there's detail, and the value is going to be conceived very quickly, and it's going to be very precise. They're going to get it. How is that now translated into the email?
So, you know what? So first of all, right? So the email are just words. Email are just words, right? And there's only so many videos that you can put, because really and truly, like, if I was really wanted to explain it in a video, then there'll be 3 or 4 links. There'll be a really long link. And I'm just conscious of that client's time. I'm thinking, do they want to watch all of this? Do they want to watch all of these different things here? They're planning a wedding. They haven't got time to be watching all of that. Now, I can have a conversation with them, and I also base it on budget as well, because that costs another £200, right? So therefore, if I know the client's budget is already around this, then I'm not bothered introducing that, because I'm now selling to you as opposed to educating you. So I have to use my head and think, well, I already know your budget. If you really want it, you'll be like, okay, yeah, budget's this. What can you do with this? Then I know where to go. Or if the customer said, you know what, I want an amazing experience, then I'll be like, okay, you can have this, or this, or you can have all of this. So I base it down on the client's needs and the client's wants. Client's wants, and then the client's needs, and then the budget is looked at from there.
Okay. Because the reason why I'm asking you, it kind of leads me on to something else, but it's still related to Weddingphotoboothhire. Is an email strong enough to convey the true value?
No, not by itself. No.
Not by itself.
No. So I wouldn't say by itself, but maybe you can help as well.
In what sense? What do you mean?
What do you think?
Me personally, I'm saying no. I'm saying that has to be a video. The only way to truly give it justice is a video, because then they'll be able to visually and audio sonically hear the actual experience versus, like you said, just words on a bit of paper or on a screen. There's a disconnection. You're not moving nobody. You're not actually really grasping anything. Let's be honest, when we see loads of words, it's like, picture. Yeah. Okay, stop. That stops the scroll.
Within one of the first 5 lines of the email, right? It's, hi, great, you've touched base with, event for photo booths. Look at the brochure. Click here to look at the brochure. All of the images on the brochure are clickable. So when you click it, it takes you to the video, right? It takes you to a video of the experience that other people have had at their events, right? It doesn't show all of the different things or animations or everything that is happening, but you can see some, and it gives you an idea. Because with anything, it's like trying to educate someone about a car. You can't show every single feature. No. You can't say, oh, yeah, these lights are automatic, but then if you switch it this, it comes in. You can't show every single thing,
But okay, let's use the car analogy.
Yeah.
When you go to buy a car, and it's a bit different because
you're there.
But even before that, obviously, you're not buying a photo booth, but you're going to rent a photo
booth.
Hiring it, But the purchasing process is still the same, right? So, when you go and buy a car, the first thing you're going to do is obviously go to whatever search platforms. So for us in the UK, it's Auto Trader, for argument's sake, right? We'll go to Auto Trader. we're skimming through to see, okay, we found a car that looks like something that we like. The one that we're going to actually inquire about is going to be the one with the most pictures and the video. Correct?
Yeah, yeah.
We are then going to look at the spec to see, okay, has it got this? Has it got that? Has it got this?
If you know about has it got this, or if you're aware of it, put it that way.
Exactly. But the first thing is, it's the most amount of images and the video. And that will give me the most reassurance of this is something that I want to see more of or want more detail on. Now I'm intrigued and I actually want to see this in person. Now, does that experience happen for the customer when they inquire? For you, anyway?
You know what? Yes, it does in terms of imagery, right? In terms of imagery, but I don't want to over...
Sorry, what do you actually do? Because obviously I know what you do, but explain what you do.
In terms of...
When the customer inquires with you and you send through your pack, that's got a lot of detail.
All right, okay.
Images. What is in that pack? What is it that you're
All right, okay. So within the email, so majority of the time, sometimes the customer knows what booth they want. Sometimes they don't, right? If they don't know what booth they want, I don't put all of the booths in the email. I don't do that. I'll put the Halo booth, for example, right? And the pricing and the information there. But then the brochure shows all of the booths, right? So they click on the image of the booth that they feel that they like, or they might end up clicking on each and every one, right? Then it shows the different layouts of the different images. Okay. So what you could actually get, whether it's strips or whether it's one main portrait. So it gives
this is all within the brochure.
It's all within the brochure.
Within your quotation, so you've got your main body of text. Image of the booth that you're going to recommend to them.
Images in the brochure. So image and the videos are all in the brochure.
Okay, so in the text, it's just generic text with pricing.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, thank you for my inquiry. Here's the price for your event. And in this
brochure, they click a link. And then they can view the brochure. So it's
that link that they click, what is that for Canva?
Canva, yeah.
Cool. And that's a viewable link.
Viewable link, yeah.
So there's no issue in regards to emails being bounced and
no.
things like that, or they can't view it.
No. You can view it. Nice and easy, straightforward.
And you can play that video from there.
Yeah. Click on it.
Do they need a Canva account?
No, they don't. They just click on it and they click on it. It opens up because it's viewer. You can view from. You don't need a Canva account.
Let me ask you something. And for me personally, maybe it's just me, but I've got this thing of if I'm sending you anything, I don't want it to have any type of URL related to any other company other than mine. So that URL that you are sending or that you click on, does it say Canva or have you masked over it?
It's masked over, so it will say bit.ly event for photo booths.
Bit.ly.
So bit.ly is a URL, so you can shorten your URL and customize it.
Okay, so you're now using abbreviated URL.
Yeah, or you can pay bit.ly and have it fully customizable, so it just says event for photo booths.
Okay, with you. But you can't do this within Canva?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. And you can't just cover it in the email?
You could cover it in the email, but then the chance of it being broken at some stage is higher.
Okay, what would make it break?
That's a very good question. I don't know, but I don't want to risk it.
Okay.
For a chocolate biscuit.
People, any of you Outlook specialists use Outlook or Gmail? What do you use?
Outlook.
Cool. Anyone who's email specialist, can that be broken? If we embed a web link into the body of the email itself and cover it with its own name, can that be broken if it's sent out, or is it covered regardless? Let us know in the comments.
I'm about minimizing the risk.
With you, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. For me personally, what you do is fantastic. I just don't like the fact of that URL being a Canva URL or any other thing. Like it's got to be Photobooth London or PBL London.
So what do you do?
PDF.
Okay.
Or I'll literally send the video.
Yeah.
And I'll condense the video down.
Okay.
So literally, they've got the video.
I used to do the video, but then I would need a separate video for each booth, and then I can't communicate and show the features, because a lot of the features that are within the brochure as well are the features of the Halo booth. The features of the mirror photo, there's just too many different features. So many different features. So I just show the different features, give them a taste of what the Halo booth can actually do. With the mirror, there's just so many different features. It's just too much.
What, with the mirror?
Yeah, there's so many different features. You can play a game on the mirror.
So you're saying your mirror functionality for weddings is way far superior than...
It's not superior, there's just a lot of them.
Well, it's superior, it's got more.
No, not necessarily. I prefer the Halo over the mirror. The Halo is sleek, it's easy, you can change it easier, you can customize it easier. Yeah. You can customize the front screen easier. It has more, but more doesn't always mean better.
Okay, fair enough.
So, for example, all right, let's take different car makes, for example, okay? All right, Tesla don't have that many cars, right?
No.
Yes. Yeah. Jaguar does. Range Rover does. They have much more, but more doesn't mean better. It means you've got more selection, but does it mean better?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So, and this is because of the added functionalities that's available with the Magic Mirror. That's why you're recommending it for weddings more than...
Yeah, I recommend it for weddings, yes. Based on space as well. Because the Halo takes up less space. The Halo takes up less space than the mirror photo booth. Okay. The Halo is more slicker. It's quicker to set up as well. It's lighter as well. You know, and with the Halo, you've got stills, you've got boomerangs, you've got GIFs, you've got a bit of video if you want video as well, a touch of video. So it's got more features. It's got different features, right? But also more features at the same time. Whereas the mirror has got a lot of animation, but you can't do videos. You can't do boomerangs. No. You can't do GIFs.
You can't do video testimonials, isn't it?
You can't. You know, so aesthetically, the mirror looks great. Okay. But also, so does the Halo. Sleek. It's got a nice big light. It's bright. You could operate by yourself. I don't have to worry about that getting damaged because the mirror, the touch a drink drops on that mirror, you know we're in trouble.
Listen, did I tell you at the time I was at the event and they had like not firecrackers but like poppers. You know the ones that twist.
Yeah.
So they had a cannon.
Did they fire it?
It went boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I was fine with it. 2 twos. We go to start to use the thing.
All of it went down the sides.
It went down the sides. It messed up the IR. It took me 20 minutes to get like a little thing and clean it all out. I didn't realize that the particles were going to go over it. Otherwise, I would have told them like, no, not around here.
So for any of you, if there's anything that touches the mirror, if you try and touch it, it doesn't work because something's already touching it. So that's why we don't allow any drinks in that area. No drinks, no food, anything in that area because
I don't have no drinks around anything.
Anyway, anyway, but the mirror particularly, yeah.
So that was a nightmare. That's when I realized how sensitive it was.
Yeah.
And as I said, it took me like 20 minutes, and it was just frustrating because I had everything set, everything was good to go. But that's the downside of the mirror, which is because it is that sensitive. More things can go wrong with it.
That's what I'm saying. It's high risk. It's high risk.
So is it worth it?
It has been.
Obviously,
it has been.
But now you've got more boosts.
Now it's got more boosts. I would always...
Because I've never liked it.
I know you've never liked it.
I've always said to Joe, like, listen, that thing is too big, it's back-breaking, I'm not interested, it's too heavy, blah, blah, blah.
But that's why I always had charged a much higher price, because I knew
But people are charging. Look what people are charging.
I know, but that's other people. They can charge that. Like I always say, right? If a customer really wants that, like, okay, go and look for another company. It's fine, but you're not gonna get the same level of service. And also, like within my email, at the bottom of the email, what I also put is, what we do is we send liability insurance, pack tests, risk assessment, and method statement over to the venue. And the reason why I do that, I remember it was the first 2 months I worked, right, on the Mirror photo booth, right? And I remember I was doing a venue in EC, right? And since then, I've just done so many EC venues and so many prestigious events. They always ask for liability insurance, pack tests, and risk assessments. I remember that day, I literally dropped the booth off, set it up. My brother-in-law came. He was managing the booth, and the manager asked, "Okay, so where's your risk assessment and pack test and all that good stuff?" I was already at a wedding in Essex, a personal wedding, right? And they called me and it goes, "Oh, have you got this?" I go, "Yeah, no problem. I can send it over." And it goes, "Yeah, please do send it over because we just had to send the band home because they don't have it." They sent the band home. The couple did not make them aware.
But they should have done that prior. How are they making them rock up and then?
And that's the thing. But if you don't know, you don't know, right? And at that point, I already had it, and that's only 2 months into the business.
You know what? That's a whole different episode that we're going to talk about: pack tests, public liability insurance, and risk assessment. Yeah, like we need to go into a lot of. In fact, you see, the risk assessment one. Yeah. We need to get somebody who's a specialist actually, because a lot of people don't really understand it. But anyway, different subject. But yeah, that's something even for me that we provide it if they ask it. I see some people put it on their website.
I don't put it on my website. But I always provide it. I always, once the customers pay the deposit, okay, on the booking form, I always ask for the venue details anyway. So as soon as they pay the deposit, I introduce myself, I send it over to them, I ask for confirmation, have you received it? So then if along the way they've asked me, I haven't received it, I'm like, yeah, I've sent it to you. Check on this day, I've got my receipts, I've sent it over to you. Yeah, so and that's why I kind of go by the book with everything to make sure that I've sent what I need to send. So the only thing, if anything goes wrong, it's nothing to do with me, you know.
With you.
And also when it comes to weddings, it's important for couples to have a planner, and it's important either a planner or a coordinator for the day, right? Because they help the day to go seamlessly, right? Also, as an MC, you should have an MC as well to help the day flow.
Definitely.
But the planner and the coordinator now know where everything actually is, right? And they know, okay,
planner and coordinator are two different people.
Yeah, so the planner takes care of you for the moment you're starting your planning of your wedding till the end when you finish, and they're helping to pack up. Okay. What's on, where they have staff to help do that, right? Yeah. The coordinator is just on the day. Just on the day, you have some interaction beforehand, but you're just saying, this is the plan for the day. This is what we're going to run with.
So then the coordinator is the hands.
Coordinator is the hand, but also the planner. You know, they're making sure that everything's flowing through timely, right? Okay. And the reason why I say the planner or the coordinator is because some people are just planners. Obviously, I'm coordinators on the day, and some people just offer the coordination service on the day, right? And the reason why it's best to have either or is because they know whether the booth will fit here or not, right? Or
who will know this? The planner?
The planner or the coordinator, either or, because both of them are going to be there on the day, like regardless. So sometimes,
but the event coordinator doesn't necessarily know that because they've only just come on site.
But they would have had 1 or 2 consultations beforehand. So it's not just going to be they're there on the day, but at the same time they would have had prior conversations with the couple.
Would you expect the coordinator to visit the site prior, or no, they wouldn't, because they would have conversations with the planner, who obviously has.
It depends the package that the customer has paid. Okay. Because if not, then the coordinator may not be there for the day because may not have visited there beforehand, because it depends on what package you paid for.
Who would you expect to speak to?
Myself? Yeah. Either the planner or coordinator, whoever they've hired on the day. That's
at what point would you have those conversations with them?
I normally have that conversation probably a week or 2 weeks prior to the event, because if not, then I'm kind of coming in blind. I'm not. I don't know where the booth is meant to go, and I always ask where the booth is meant to go prior, right? And the space that's available, because I don't want to get to a venue and I come and
do you not find that most couples or people booking generally will tell you that when they book, or no?
I ask, and sometimes they don't know.
Okay.
And if they have a planner or a coordinator, they will always know.
Do you ask prior to them paying or no?
Not prior to them paying, no. I don't ask. No, wait. On the booking form, it says either you got a planner or a coordinator, and then it says the event manager. So those things are separate.
Event manager, that's now
for the venue. That's the venue, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got the wedding planner who is holding the bride and groom's hand throughout the whole experience.
Yeah.
The event coordinator, who is the hands on the particular day along with the party, with the wedding planner.
No. The planner. So the planner holds their hand from the beginning all the way to the end. So the planner is also the coordinator on the day.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you don't pay for that, if you don't pay for a planner, then you just have the coordinator on the day.
On the day, okay.
Yeah.
And then the event manager is now working on behalf of the venue.
The venue, yeah. So
then would you have conversations with them as well, or no?
If they have
one.
If they have a planner or a coordinator, then it's just those two, because the event manager is still always going by what the planner or the coordinator will say, because they're the two people, one of two people that's in touch with the couple on the day.
Okay.
So planner or coordinator is really important. I always say it's best to have a planner, because the planner takes you through the whole journey. But if you can't afford that part, then definitely have a coordinator, because planner or coordinator takes the stress away. They take the stress away.
Okay.
You know,
I'm with you. And then where does the event manager come into play here?
Event manager is just there to make sure that the staff.
No, but I'm saying with you, in terms of you delivering the service that the customers paid you for. When do you engage with the event manager?
So for example, sometimes the couple may not have a coordinator or a planner right there and then straight away, right? So the first point of call is the event manager for the venue. So I will ask the event manager, okay, so within the booking form, I ask, do you have a loading bay? Are there stairs? Are there all of this stuff? Sometimes the couple is not too sure, so they divert me to the event manager, but they've already put that information. So I would have asked them prior to the event. You know, majority of the time, I don't get weddings that are last minute. Not weddings, parties, but not weddings that are so last minute. So they give me the information as to if they have a floor plan already, then where things normally go, you know, where the plug sockets are, because all of this stuff takes time. You know, sometimes it's the getting into the venue and setting up that takes the longest, which is crazy.
Very long, exactly. So then, why would you then still recommend the magic mirror? Because you know that's going to be the longest thing to get into the venue.
Very true. But then it depends on the type of venue it actually is. Sometimes I'm really happy when it's a venue I've been to before and you just roll it in and just put it there.
Yeah. Do you know what? And there's a lot of venues like that.
Yeah. I think Willows is like that. This venue is like that as well.
Yeah.
You roll it in. There's quite a few venues you could just roll it in with ease. But venues that I'm unaware of, or I'm not too sure, I try and look at the website and see. But sometimes it doesn't give you a guide.
No, definitely not. So when it's coming to the actual experience themselves and the guests, are you putting up barriers, or are you just, how is the actual setup in regards to the magic mirror?
So if it's a mirror photo booth, you've got the poles and the red rope. So it's on either side. It's on either side of the booth. So normally,
do you charge extra for that?
I don't, not for the mirror, but
that's part of the setup.
It's part of the setup, but for the halo, I do.
Oh, why?
Because it's not part of the setup.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not part. It doesn't come with it because the mirror is heavy itself, right? It's all heavy itself, right? So are the poles and the So I know I'm already doing heavy lifting for that. When it's a halo, my life is easy. I roll it in, I bring it in. Any other heavy stuff, no. That's the halo is not meant for heavy lifting. But if you want that, you can pay for that. It's fine.
Okay. You provide guest book?
Provide guest book all the time.
Pens, glue.
Pens, glues. The glue is just sticking the photos.
What size guest book do you use?
I use 8x8.
8x8 one?
Yeah, 8x8.
And what, are you giving postcards or are you giving strips?
I used to do postcards. I do strips after COVID. Well, after I think the ink I think went up by 20 or 30%, to be honest.
Price.
So, yep, price. So, but if a customer wants it, yeah, we charge extra for that.
Do you know what's so crazy? As you said that, I just got a flashback of us back in the day wasting.
Woo!
We used to waste so much ink and paper. It was, it was criminal. Criminal. Like, if the roll had like, I don't know, it might have even 100 prints in it. Like, nah, fresh ink, fresh paper. Like, we were frivolous with it. But now looking back, now it's complete opposite. Now it's like, no, there's still 50 prints on that.
It's going through.
I'm going to change that paper when it's finished. Not, just because I feel like I know it's going to finish. And I'm okay with it. And don't feel pressured when there's
only like 20 or 30, like use it.
Every last bit, because it's all money. And that's profit.
Yeah.
Ultimately, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's profit. And if you don't utilize it properly, then you're just letting money walk out the door.
I think one thing I've found is that with the mirror photo booth, right? With the mirror photo booth, like after the software had updated, I can't now reprint that photo.
Okay.
Once that session is gone, I can't now reprint that photo. Okay. Which is why when it comes to the mirror, I make sure there's a good amount of paper in there. Because if it gets to a point where it's finished, I can't now reprint that for the customer. Okay. If it's the halo, I can reprint it all day long if I need to. If the printing stops, fine, I just pull it in.
Why can't the magic mirror reprint?
That's a good question. I think now there's an error there. I don't know what it is, but before I could just print.
Have you spoken to them?
That's a very good question.
Because every time I try to call them, they don't pick up the phone.
Yeah, they seem to be very busy, to be honest.
Are they still in business?
They're still in business.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know to what level, but they're still in business.
Why, you still get leads from them?
No, I don't. I haven't done that. I need to restart that up again, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because that was my bread and butter, as you used to
know. I remember. You used to tell me, it's like, I got inquiries coming through this. It's like, all right, cool.
So, one of my biggest clients came through there, to be fair. I remember.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. But, I mean, for me, when it comes to weddings, I don't know. I'm still, look, right now, I'm honest with you, everything's 360 for me. 360 photo booth. Yeah. Best experience. It doesn't matter what the event is for me right now. Only time where I'm not pushing that is if, what would I really say? Space and if they're adamant they don't want it.
Yeah. How about budget though? Do you charge more? Like, alright, so let's say for example you got your Halo booth or your eye booth. You call it eye booth or you still call it Halo?
Now I just call it selfie pod.
Selfie pod. So selfie pod and 360, both of them 2 hours. Which one are you charging more? Both basic package. Yeah. Which one charging more?
One, I don't even do 2 hours anymore. Yeah, like it's not worth it.
Okay,
not worth it. In general, I keep it very, very simple. So I will just say, look, 3 hours for the price of 4. So £400. Yeah. That's your 4 hours. So it's 4 hours for the price of 3.
Yeah.
So because usually for 3 hours I would charge $3.99 for a selfie pod. Yeah. So then I would say, cool, if you book, I'll give you an extra hour.
Yeah.
So it's £400 for the 4 hours, which is a very good deal. That
for
way,
a basic package.
Your basic package, but that way I can pay for staff. I can reinvest back into marketing, ink, paper. I know everything's covered. There's enough margin to allow the business to sustain itself. We stopped doing 2 hours because anything below just financially wasn't making no sense. So we stopped doing it. So going back to the question, what was it again?
Which one? 360. Which one kind of you charge more for?
So I will charge more for the 360.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
So that because of the ink and paper and the prints.
Yeah.
But if they don't want that, then I'll just do like for like. I'll just do.
Okay.
I'll do the same. 4 hours for the price of 3.
Do you find which one? Do you find you have to entertain more? You have to put more effort into.
And this is so funny because when I was at that booking I was talking to you about the other day with the 360 in the festival, I found myself shouting.
Yeah.
I
can give you a pointer on
that. I know. So straight away as I was doing it, my voice was getting hoarse.
Yeah.
I was like, I need some water. I was like, Joe said, yo, I've got a little speaker.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. You can explain to them what you do.
Yeah.
But straight away I was like, that is a genius idea because the effort required for the 360 is 10 times more.
Yeah.
So explain what you do with that.
All right, cool. So basically the effort that I'm using is less now because so basically it's like a headset, headphone, and I have a little speaker attached to my side, and it projects out really, really loud, right? Depending upon the volume, right? But it's enough for them to hear. Even if there's music pumping in the background, they can hear me clear as day, and I'm not shouting, right? And it just adds a new experience to people like, oh, what's that? I said, yes, my headphones. Oh, so where's the speaker? I said, oh, don't worry, it's right here. You know?
So you're rolling around with a mini speaker.
But you can't see it. It's underneath my shirt, it's underneath my polo.
Okay.
Yeah, or my polo, yeah. So you would never see it, but you would hear it.
Okay.
You know?
And it's Bluetooth is wired?
It's wired, yeah. It's wired. Yeah. It's wired.
You have to get an affiliate link and put that in.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. But you know, funny enough, I didn't like come up with the idea. I saw it on one brother from YouTube, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is gonna help my voice, and it will help with the experience. You know,
because I don't personally. I just use my normal voice. But when you told me about it, I was like, made total sense. But then when I was at that booking the other day, I was like, no, I'm actually gonna have to go and buy one because my voice was getting hoarse. Yeah. And I was just like, no, this is too draining. But I need to get the experience. Especially, like, for instance, on the 360s, I'm using the back side of the camera. So they can't see the countdown. So they're not going to know when to change their pose. So then I'm counting down. So I'm saying 3, 2, 1. I'm like, no, that doesn't work well. Now, on SnapPic, this is something for SnapPic. They need to get some audio so that the booth speaks. So they can hear the countdown themselves versus somebody having to count it down. And also having the ability to add audio that tells them to change their pose. Because then the image quality is a lot better. Because think about it. You've got strip prints, right? In your strip. Sometimes I do 2 photos in the strip. Sometimes I do 3.
Okay.
Now, if the customer is unaware that this is going to give them 3 different photos, they're going to stand like this for all 3 photos. What is the point of that? You just look like a stick. Like, you have missed the whole
There's
concept.
a countdown though, isn't there?
There's a countdown, but if you're using the back side
you're
of the
not seeing
screen,
it. Yeah, but that's...
If you're using the back side of the camera...
So
if you're doing a 360, the back side of the camera, you can't see.
Oh, yeah, you can't just turn it around all the time.
No, you wouldn't do it.
But how do you... so how do you interchange it? Because is there a cut-off point, as to 360 time, 2 hours, and then photo booth, 1 hour? Like, how do you structure it?
Bro, it's part of the whole journey.
It's just literally switching up and change.
No, switching up and change. So, for instance, this is the journey, right? This is the experience. So, the customers are queuing up, waiting to come. They come over, introduce themselves. Hi, how you guys doing? Right, this is what we're going to do today, guys. First, we're going to take some photos. It's going to print instantly for you. It's 2 photos, and you get 3 seconds in between to change. After you've done your photos, we're then going to do a 360 video. Okay. Sounds good? Like, sounds good. They come on. I then position them, say, listen, stand here. Because now, remember, the platform is there. So they know where to stand. There's no guessing. All I then need to say to them is, okay, just come a bit forward for me. Brilliant. Right. I'm about to start. Tell me when you're ready. Are you ready? Yes, we're ready. Cool. I press the button. Obviously, they can only see the back side of the camera. They cannot see the screen at this point. So then I'm now having to say to them, right, 3, 2, 1, change. Cool. They change. 3, 2, 1, done. Finished. All right, brilliant, guys. Now everyone back to back, and we're going to do the 360 video. They now go back to back. I then position them because what I'm trying to do is not only give them that experience, I also want to make sure that the quality that comes out is of the highest grade.
Which is why you use the back
why I use the back camera, not only that, why I direct them. And that's one thing I realized, for instance, and this is something I'm going to do, and I think you should do it. Anybody in photo booths, right? Photography course. a photography course would be very helpful because you actually need to direct them.
The thing is, I always direct.
But do you know what you're doing when you're directing
I know
them?
what I'm doing in terms of directing them. In terms of directing them for a photo booth, not necessarily for a picture per se.
Okay.
Like, as in a photographer. Because if I was a photographer, then yes.
But are you not a photographer?
I am. You know what? For photographers, for professional photographers, I am not a photographer. For photo boothers, I am a amateur photographer. That's what I am. Okay. Amateur photographer, expert photo booth person.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when those people are taking those pictures and in that particular moment, like literally, the girl was on the 360 booth, and as it was going around, she was actually saying, "I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." And in my head, I was like, "Oh shoot, I need to help her." So then I was like, "Look, a bit of sassiness, smile, blow kisses." I was then prompting her to give her some type of imaginary thought, so then she could then pose and enjoy the experience versus feeling out of her comfort zone, not knowing what to do.
I always direct, right? I direct maybe the first 2 or 3, right? Okay. And then they'll be like, "Oh, what do I do?" So then I have a share station. I said, "Do this," something like that. So they see it. I'm not just saying it. Now they see it. So when I had the sharing station
is there. Yeah, exactly.
Or they'll be like, "Oh, so how does it work?" So then I go back, I play the video, and they see it. Right? Because sometimes your voice gets dry. Yeah, and you don't have juice. Even if
this is why you guys need to look after us. This is what I mean.
The thing is, it's like we're providing a service, but it's also an entertainment service. So when we're charging what we're charging, you know, we use the most amount of energy on that day. You know, first we're doing the lifting, then we're doing the entertaining, then we're doing the directing, and then we're packing away, and then we're driving back home. So we're using all of this energy.
If you really clock it, it's a whole install.
Yeah, it is.
Like this setup. This is an installation. If people come and set this up at your venue, you got to pay them properly. Now it's the same thing with the photo booth setups, but there's a big difference. We're speaking it from a professional standpoint in the sense of this is something that it's not just a side hustle. This is an actual full-fledged business. Time goes into this.
That's right.
Content is being generated. Look, hence us sitting here now today. So there's a big difference. Now, for somebody's part-time side gig, it's a whole different viewpoint because they're not going to do all that. They're going to come, they're going to set up that bit of kit, and they're going to go down to the pub and have a few bevies.
But then it also depends. I mean, you can do it part-time, but the research has to be full-time. Does that make sense? So what I mean by that is, it's not that you just have the equipment and you set it up and you cut and you go. It's not that, right? You still need to put time and effort into your before. You still need to understand the requirements of the customer. You still need to provide a high level of service. You've got some full-time businesses, from full-time photo booth businesses, who still don't provide that to that level.
No, but I'll be honest with you, right? When we was first in photo booths, it was like, this is cool. We were in early, and it was cool, but I didn't really grasp the concept of the service that I was providing. And you was providing equipment to take pictures, and it will print, but I didn't really understand the sense of, wait, hold on a minute, these are actually cherished memories. Hold on a minute, some of these people taking these pictures actually might not be here tomorrow. In fact, sometimes you might not be able to even see that person's flown in from another part of the world to come and have.
They've taken time and effort.
This moment with that person, like for instance, it's a wedding, and you know weddings, you got people flying in from all over. Now, the photographer is cool, but it's not relaxed. It's very different experience when you're in the photo booth. Like, let's just say, for instance, the enclosed booth. When that curtain is drawn,
you're in a different place.
You're in a whole different place. That moment is just you and the people in that booth, and you're being silly, you're being loving, you are joking. Like, the emotions are just doing a whole 360 in there, and it's your time just to be you. That's why I love the enclosed booth. But that's when I realized, oh, hold on a minute. This is not just me bringing a bit of kit and putting it in your establishment and then just letting you just take photos and walk away. It's then I now need to ensure that this bit of kit that I'm bringing into your establishment is going to give all your attendees the best possible experience, that their journey and contact time with not only just the booth, but the booth attendant is going to be one which makes them feel happy and good about themselves, and they're going to want to keep coming back from there.
I got two things, right? So for a long while, I've called them photo booth technicians because they're technicians.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, that's one thing. But the second thing is that why do you now prefer open booths over enclosed booths?
Goes back to the same thing with the Magic Mirror, which is obviously we started with enclosed booths. Yeah. We had a lot of them, but the amount of work they needed to would take, I should say, to set them up, it was too draining. It's like putting together a jigsaw, this piece into this piece, that piece into that piece. And then if you lose a bit of the piece, it's like, oh my God, I've lost the cube. Like, it becomes too complex. And you need a seamless system. You need to be able to set up
by yourself,
but not in that. Very simply, I need to come in and do A, B, C, and keep it moving. So that's why I like the selfie pods, because in my selfie pods, I don't even use a DSLR because I don't need it, because the cameras in the iPhones or these pads, they're more than sufficient. They're 1080. What else do I need? Good lighting. I'm in the money. And the other part of it is, I'm not trying to take professional photos. I'm trying to get guests to have a good time. They don't care as long as the picture quality is good. But what they really care about is, can they have fun? Can they dress up and can they transform themselves? Or can they have a boomerang? Can they now act silly? Or can they make it iconic? Can they add a filter to it to make it pop more? Or can they have a digital prop that's unique to the actual event itself? There's so many different things, but then I realize my job as the provider, and if I am the actual operator, is to ensure that they are using that bit of kit to its fullest potential, because they need to maximize the opportunity.
You know what? The photos are professional, right? The only one difference is between us and photographers, right, is that one, we don't use flashes, right?
Yes.
We don't use flashes. So with a flash, it makes it pop a bit more, right? The photos that we do take are professional. They're just not edited. They're not. They don't have extra lighting.
The software edits it for you. That's the whole point of
but
the
not
filters.
as much as the photographers would edit it. But it does the job very, very well. Put it that way.
Yeah.
You know. So
it's cookie cutter. It comes straight out of the box.
So let's not dumb down our service.
No, I'm far from. No, but it's a different service.
Yeah, different type of service.
Like for instance, the photographer, he is
or she.
Sorry, yes. Sorry, let me rephrase that. They are moving around your facility, capturing not only just individuals, but they're capturing the whole environment to create this picture, so that when you look back, you can see, oh wow, the candles, the lighting, oh, Nanny speaking to uncle, uncle speaking to cousin, and oh, that moment where John and such were laughing over the fact that the cake spilled or whatever it may be. It's roaming and it capturing the whole experience in terms of the event from start to finish. I am setting up a actual stage for people to come and perform in a precise location in that venue, and when they come over to that particular part, then that's their time to dress up silly or to take loving photos, but they're orchestrating it themselves, and I'm just there as a guide just to make sure that they're using it properly, and that not only that, after that they've taken their pictures, it prints, and that they are now aware that there's a guest book, so that the bride and groom have something tangible to look back on. Now that guest book, like you now know and I now know, is very valuable.
So let's go back. So some people don't know what a guest book is, right? So explain for them what the guest book is and the process and why we do what we do.
Cool. So the guest book is an evolved version of a traditional guest book. So a traditional wedding guest book, you would just write, okay, I'm here. Your wedding was amazing. Thank you for having us. Blah, 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 blah. With the photo booth guest book, what I do in particular is provide you with not only the ink, the paper, all the pens, the book, I provide stamps and stickers. So with the stamps and stickers, you can now decorate it, making it more unique. And then it gives the actual attendees an incentive to use the book because they want to decorate it and make it unique for them. Then they're adding their creativity. So they've added their creativity in terms of taking the photo, which is now printed, but now they've then decorated their personal message. They can be silly, they can be rude. It's free flowing. There is no rules to it. Now, what you're not going to get is all your mates writing in your book, I got my cook out. Like, they're not going to do that. Do you know what I mean? But in the guest book,
advise that they do that.
But in the guest book, they can. They can write whatever they want. They can swear in that book. They can have rude jokes in that book. It could be a loving memory. Whatever they feel, it's just open. It's free flowing. That's why I love the guest book, and I ensure that like, for instance, we provide the black books, which is all black papers, all black sheets.
So what do you use? Do you use silver and gold pens?
Silver, gold, and white pens.
Okay, white.
Now, these are not cheap.
They're not cheap.
And we ensure that we get good quality ones. So when they write, even like our the white books that we use, we use italic pens. So the thickness is different. They're not big. They're not your £1. It's not a £1 pen. That actual pen might cost me £3-4 quid, and you can imagine how many of these I'm going through. But the aesthetics, when the person's writing and they've got nice handwriting, oh, it pops.
Question: so when guests are writing in the guest book, and it's a couple, who normally does the writing?
The guy would always get the woman to write in the book. Always.
90% of the time.
99% of the time. But what I see is they will, if the couple, if it's the male's friends or relatives,
then they would write in there.
Then they would write in there. But the guy would always then try and get the woman to go in there. But generally, it is the woman. But sometimes if it is the male's people, then that male would go and write for that person. Whoever's the person is closest to. But that's what I found. But then let me add something to this. Do you know about the video testimonials?
Yes, I know about the video testimonials. But you explain that to them.
So the video testimonials is so undervalued and underused. It's astonishing. A lot of people don't realize. So what you can do is with the photo. This is with Snappic anyway. Honestly, I'm a big Snappic advocate. So Snappic, we're gonna have to talk because we're mentioning.
I'm a Snappic advocate as well. To be honest.
We're gonna have to talk. We'll have to have some type of affiliate link. But Snappic services are fantastic, and what they offer is a video testimonial. So, for instance, your guest can leave a video message. Now, we've all seen these audio guest books. To me, why do I need an audio guest book?
I was gonna get one. To be fair, I was.
Do you know what? It's nostalgia. I think because
picking
you
up the phone.
Old phone, but in a minute it's gonna get played out because, for instance, those phones make sense for people of our generation, but when our kids are older, they're not going to want to pick up that phone.
They're not going to know what it is. Listen. Do you have a house phone?
No.
I don't have a house phone.
No.
So none of our kids know what a house phone is.
No.
They know what a mobile phone is.
Yes.
They know that they have to see a screen. If they don't see a screen, it ain't a phone.
This is it. So, for me, the future is video messaging in the photo booth itself, in front of, on the selfie pod, on the 360, leaving a video message. Now that video message is then correlated, and then the bride and groom can get that. Now, how valuable is that?
Very valuable.
Audio and visual versus just audio.
Yeah.
What would you rather?
Well, you want audio and
You
video.
want the video. You want to be able to hear and see. It's a no-brainer. And the added service that I'm now offering is that we'll create a sizzle reel, so we'll edit it and we'll mash it all together. So instead of me sending you just one video one by one,
you send it all together,
all correlated.
Yeah, you could do that on Canva.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So then when they get that, it's seamless. So they can get a sizzle, so they get to see all the videos put together, all the 360s put together, all the photos put together, all in one reel.
So so with SnapPic, as you know, SnapPic has like a gallery wall, right? And you can get two versions. You got a gallery wall, or you got a micro site, right?
Yes.
And the gallery wall allows you can view the gallery wall while you're at the event, right? Okay, you go back. So if a customer still wants to get their video or their picture, you just take them back to the gallery and they can resend it to themselves.
Yes.
Now the difference between a gallery wall and a micro site is that you can send that to the customer afterwards, and that customer can send it to all of their guests, and then they can view that and send it to themselves as many times as they like. And to my understanding, that micro site just lives on. It doesn't. If it does die, I think it's 2 years minimum. Minimum 2 years. But other than that,
you know what? That's a whole different episode for a
whole. You know what? It's true. I'm giving them too much.
Yeah, but that's for me. When it comes to weddings, the biggest feature that's not sold or utilized, video testimonials or video messaging from your guests, wishing you well, and just talking about the day and the whole event. Obviously, anytime I've offered it, oh, wicked, amazing. But yeah, that's my take on it. So what's your outtake? What's your out thoughts?
My out thoughts is that
photobooths.
My out thoughts is that, you know, after having this conversation, but kind of really understanding and knowing, you know, how much effort goes into a wedding, you know, the Halo booth always, for me, that is.
And when you say Halo, this is a selfie.
Yeah, selfie pod. Yeah, the selfie pod.
Open air.
You can have your different backdrops, whether it's a green screen, whether it's a nice backdrop like this. That for me comes top for me. You know, I haven't ventured into the 360 and photo booth, but I'm sure you'll show me what that's about.
Yeah, no, you know? definitely. And you know what? I think a couple of these episodes will demonstrate some of this stuff. Yeah. Because it will be even better for people to see. Yeah. I think that's the definite shout. Yeah.
Demonstration is definitely the one. Yeah. And it enables the customer to understand why we charge what we charge, how much effort we put in, and that, we're great photo booth companies.
Definitely. And look, we're creating a community, ultimately, hence why we have this podcast.
Yep.
And we want you to subscribe, join us. Look, write in the comments. We are open. We are not over or feel like, we're better than anybody else. We're all learning.
Yeah.
Like a new operator can come in and still teach us things because there's so many different elements to photoboothhire. You have to keep an open mind, and it's forever changing and it's forever evolving. And we're going to be shedding a lot of light on a lot of this stuff. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey. As I was even sitting here, I think we're going to have a clubhouse room as well.
You know, I think that's an amazing idea.
Twitter spaces. Yeah. We'll do some Facebook lives and we'll develop this community and we'll share together and we'll all benefit from it. I feel 100%. Anyway. Yeah. So my outtake is that, listen, wedding photo booth hire, I would highly recommend the 360 photo booth. If the operator can provide you with prints as well as the video, it's going to give your attendees the best possible experience. They're going to have so much fun taking the photos, making 360 videos. They can still have props. They can still do your video testimonials. It can do it all, but the operator has to be aware of it and be able to facilitate and deliver and just ensure that they can provide that level of service. It does require a lot if you are the operator. but that's why you charge accordingly, because you are providing a superior service. For me, in my eyes, I look at it, because you are doing so much. So that's my outtake. Been a great episode, sponsored by Bushy Country